louder? Give me a little something.
Hey, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, can you hear yourself?
Yeah, I can hear myself.
Sweet. What do you say we knock into this thing?
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah, man.
so I can lounge back.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. Today I have with me Mr. John Cherry. How you doing, my friend?
Great.
So
Feeling
glad you're
great.
here, man.
Yeah, glad to be here.
You ready to do this thing?
Yeah, we're ready. Let's crack it open.
Yeah, it took us a little while to get this guy scheduled, but we are good to go now. We're in here.
we
We're about
are.
to knock it out. So let's go ahead and get the origin story on this young man. You are the keys player in Big Chungus and AFTM. Any other bands?
No, not as of
really
now,
it?
no.
Yeah,
but I mean,
okay.
I'm always trying to.
Well,
do
sweet.
new
Tell me how you
things.
got started playing. Tell me how you guys. Embarrassing. It's my mom.
Oh,
What's
you
up,
got-
Mom?
I mean,
Thanks for ruining my podcast.
You got to take it sometimes. It's your mom.
Let's see what she says. Hey, Mom.
Hey.
Hey, I'm on a podcast. What's up?
I was going to tell you about the gig I got you.
Oh, nice. Let's go. All right. Well, I have to call you back for real, though. I was just joking.
Okay.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Got a gig, though. Let's go.
That's sweet. That's an awesome
Yes,
mom, dude.
on the
My mom
air,
was giving
baby.
Me gigs.
Yeah, I got a momager. That's what they call us, you know.
Momager.
All right. Sorry I cut you off there. Let's do origin story. How'd you get to playing, man?
So just me playing like keys in general.
Yeah, just like
So
yeah.
I started off when I was young. I took for like 3 or 4 years, took piano lessons, doing kind of classical stuff.
How young are we talking? Like 12, 4?
I'd say like 3rd grade.
Sweet,
was when it
okay.
kinda
That's
started
really
that.
early, man.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then so I did that for 3 years, and I realized I wasn't like super crazy about it because I would always try to like play stuff around what I was reading or like what I was like supposed to be playing and
Classical stuff.
yeah, and like even like if it wasn't classical, just written music. And at some point, I kind of like stepped away from the keys because I was like, oh, like piano lessons aren't really that fun.
Yeah.
Because I had never realized that I could sit down and just make something up.
Yeah, just play whatever you want.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow. And then, so then I played guitar for like 3 years because I was like, oh, well, like I want to try a new instrument.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
got an acoustic guitar and played that for like 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And then a couple years passed, and then go to like 10th grade. And my friend Wilson Wallace, who is a really good guitar player and vocalist.
Yeah.
I wanted to play with him, but I was like, oh, well, this guy's so good at guitar. Like, I can't play guitar like him. So I was like, maybe I'll just try to make some up on piano.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I started like kind of improvising with him on that. And then he had just been getting into jazz and stuff. So he kind of helped me like self-direct myself into, kind of just learning about theory and ways to improvise and, who to listen to and like what would be a...
Like there's music other than classical.
Yeah,
music
like
kind of thing.
there's other than jam bands, there's other than funk, rock, soul, blues. Like it was just like I
Yeah.
always thought jazz was like, oh, like this kind of
pretentious thing.
yeah. I didn't even realize it was pretentious. When I thought of jazz, I thought of like smooth jazz or like
Lounge
elevated
kinda
music,
thing.
lounge stuff. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he was showing me like Miles Davis or like
Yeah.
discover like and then Herbie Hancock and then
Good shit.
McCoy Tyner and all those people, and I'm like, wow, like
I like it.
this is.
That's funny that you
intense,
say
yeah.
that because about the classical thing. This is like a recurring theme. I've had like 4 guests say that like they were kids, the straight path to take is to learn Mozart and shit and Ode to Joy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like it's not very appealing when you're that young, I guess. In
Yeah,
some
you don't
ways,
appreciate it as much. And now that
Yeah.
I'm older, I'm like, dang, man, I really wish I stuck with like classical because like
Yeah,
that's like the
just
coolest
crazy.
stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to like understand like that how that stuff works, like the scales and theory and all that shit behind that. But I don't
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
I will one day though. That's interesting though, because you said that the classical. Why don't they teach us like rock and roll songs and shit? You know?
Yeah,
what
I
I mean?
know.
Like,
I guess they're not like, hey, man, like just learn your dominant 7 chords and play some blues. Like you kind of got to be like, oh, like gotta learn a little
Yeah.
Beethoven and
Ode to Joy, and
then
shit.
realize you don't like it, and then you got to feel rebellious,
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that's
Maybe
kind of the sense of where
it's
it comes from, though.
quintessential to the
Yeah.
process. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
think so.
Okay. All right, continue on. Yes, sir.
And so then with Wilson, and then one of my good friends, Philip Sebastian, was on bass, and Connor Yaris was on drums. We had a band for the last 2 years of high school playing covers.
Cool. What was the band name?
Mind State.
Mind State. Nice. I like
So
it.
it's like I play on words on like a mind state, and then like a state, like a
Yeah.
like a country, but like mind.
Yeah,
I don't
interesting.
know.
I like
Yeah.
it. It's not
It
bad.
was like a high school pun type thing.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's pretty clever for some high school kids.
Yeah, just some high school kids trying to be clever.
I love it. Love it.
And then
When you say covers, what are you guys playing? Jazz at this point, or
we were playing all different types of stuff. Like we were playing like Vampire Weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'd play like John Mayer or Bill
Oh, yeah.
Withers or Stevie Wonder, like we play like I
Nice.
Wish by Stevie Wonder and stuff.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites to cover. And then In the Air Tonight and some like quintessential
Hell.
yeah, you gotta give the drummer the moment. Yeah.
You got to, man.
And then so after that I came to college and
University of Georgia, correct?
yes, I
Nice.
came here. Yeah, I've been here for 4 years. I'm a senior now, and coming in as a freshman, I had just like a couple of times there had been bands playing, and I had gone up and been like, and they had a keyboard, and I was like, hey, can I like sit in with y'all? And so I'd go and like play Jessica or something. I think someone sent a video of that to Preston Andrews, the original first drummer for AFTM,
Okay.
and then they had so AFTM had a gig at Silver, and the twins couldn't make it.
Gotcha.
And so Preston knew Kelly, the guitarist
Yes, goat.
for AFTM now, the man, and heard that I had played. So we met up at Nucci's and for kind of like a trial thing. It was like me, him, Forrest, and Kelly.
Okay.
And so us four played, and they were like, "Oh, this kind of works out." And so we played that gig together
At Silver Dollar.
at Silver that night. I didn't know that they were auditioning me really for a gig per se. I just thought it was like, let's come and jam. And I was like, this is fun. We should play. And then like Forrest was like, what do you mean? Like you're playing tonight? I was like, what? And
Dude,
so then I was like, that was my first show. And then
how did it go? Just
it was
hopping
great.
in,
I mean, we just played, classic rock covers.
Yeah.
And,
Okay. So you
kinda
guys
like
are all covers at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Forrest had been writing his own songs, and I'm sure Kelly had been too for the longest time. But like at that point, it was just like,
Yeah.
it's like getting up with random musicians and playing classic rock standards.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But then I obviously didn't realize what career would
come out of
come
it.
after that. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah, so that was cool. But so then that gig was just us four. But then we had the next gig was at Silver Dollar, and that was with the twins.
So is this gig at Silver? Is this the first AFTM gig, or have they been playing before?
They had
met
been
you?
So the band. So Forrest and the two twins, John and Will McLean, had been playing since they were youngins.
Oh, okay. I
At
didn't
like
know that.
different things. Like I know when they were like in middle school, they had a gig in front of the Moe's in Atlanta and like different things like that.
Nice.
But they'd also they played. They played a lot, and Forrest was writing songs, and they were working out songs, and they have like actually some really good demos on SoundCloud from
Really? I'm gonna have
from
to
like
listen to
way
these.
back in the day.
Yeah?
Yeah, you got to get the link from Forrest, but they're
Interesting.
good.
The secret demos.
Yeah, the deep cuts. Yeah, so those three played, and then Preston joined some point in college. I think when they were I can't remember. I wasn't there. I was a high schooler.
I wasn't there.
Playing in the Mind State. So
Love it. Okay. So that's how you got into the band.
So that's how I got into the band. So then at that point, my freshman year, it was 6 of us: the two twins, Preston, Kelly, me, and Forrest.
Gotcha.
And so after that, we just we played, and then after freshman year, Preston had to go and go do his thing for his take care of himself.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Cam hops in, right?
and then
Or is
Mr.
there-
Cam
is
hops
there
in that
between?
summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Cam hopped in, and we were like, this feels really good.
Yeah.
And then we played for like a year and a half, and then
Interesting. So when you started though, like when you're like asking to sit in shit, or you like every night you're like, man, I can't wait to be in a fucking band, playing
I was
every
like,
night.
well, the funny thing was when I was a senior in high school, like one of the only times I came up, it was for shower cap, and I look up
man.
and I got there. I got there really early, and so I think those three, Preston or those four, were playing at shower cap. They were like the second band to play in the days.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa! Like someone was like, yeah, those guys are like college students. They're
Yeah.
playing on stage in front of everyone. And I was like, that's so cool.
It's crazy, isn't
Like
it?
I wish I want to meet those guys. Like I want to like maybe I could play with them. They don't have a keyboard player. And then I never really thought about it. And then that
And they're playing.
and then that
covers
one fateful day at Nucci's where
Yeah.
they're like, oh, this is nice. And then Silver Dollar,
Love it, man. That's a good start. That's a good little quick origin story there. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. You condensed that really well. Okay. So you guys get to playing, and this is how many years ago is this? 2 years? It's really
this
not
is
that long.
2017.
2017. Okay, 3 or 4.
Three-ish.
Well, 3-ish.
Three
Yeah.
and some change. Yeah. So basically what really made our band go from, the college dudes playing at
Classic
a bar,
rock,
classic
yeah.
rock at
Yeah.
a bar was McLean came up to us after one gig and was like, hey, I'm in the music business program. I have an interest in like managing bands, and I really think you guys are great. Like,
Yeah.
you sound great. I can tell y'all are like, good musicians and you play well together. But I really really think that like with my help I could help get you on the other side of Lumpkin.
Interesting.
And we were like, whoa. Like, you mean we can play like a venue? Like 40 watt one day, or you know, the theater maybe? And then like and so he was like, yeah, like, and so he sat us down and was like, you know, you gotta, you know, work on your originals and all this stuff. And he kind of had like a gradual process to getting us there, and
game plan.
And he executed it, and he's, you know, he's a man of his word, and he is the
That's awesome, man.
most brilliant guy. Yeah, he's amazing.
That sounds like a fucking album, The Other Side of Lumpkin.
The Other Side of Lumpkin, dude.
That's cool,
honestly,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's so, until then, a few of you guys are in fraternities, right?
Yeah, we all, I mean, like a couple of them were, and I mean, I am, but like, you know.
Yeah, so that's where you guys started. You guys
that's
played fraternities
yeah, we
first.
played a bunch of fraternity parties, and we, you know, did all that, but.
You say that was pretty beneficial, or?
Yeah, it's definitely
building?
The best way to get your name out, and the best way to get money.
Yeah, definitely.
to record. So like
paying, okay.
that, like those fraternity shows were what gave us the money to be able to even like go into 1093 or Chase Park and record anything.
See,
so.
I've noticed that about you guys and Springhouse. You kind of have this like formula that's not intentional, but it just seems to work. You guys kind of like play the fraternity thing first, kind of build your name, and then you kind of have like a group of awesome people that like to drink and come out, and then they see you at the big venues or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And it's almost sort of like a cheat code, and it's almost like, you know, sometimes it's like seems like, you know, a shortcut or something, but I think it's definitely convenient, but and I would say it was the best point in our career was when we played that second Georgia Theater crowd, and I looked out, and like a lot of those people were people I knew, but it was a lot of people who are like, I know these people who didn't see us play at a fraternity party.
Yeah.
They're not listening to us because they're our friends. They're just people in Athens
that heard about you.
Who heard about it. And it's like, and so it's almost like, you know, once you, like, you can use that as a tool, but I think once you grow out of that and beyond that, then that's when you're like, wow, this is a legitimate operation, because, you know.
You kind of crossed over, you know.
Yeah, you kind of like, you kind of let it help you out, but at some point you gotta kind of like part ways with it, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to do it forever.
Yeah,
you know
yeah, because you know, that's well, it's just like that's where the. Like there's kind of like you can provide for yourself with those with the money from the frat gigs, but at some point you gotta play a venue, and you gotta travel, and you gotta go to new places,
originals and all that.
Yeah,
kind of
you gotta play originals, exactly.
Were you guys at this point you're doing straight covers, or were you guys like sprinkling in originals? Like, hey, here's one you guys might like.
Yeah, so after McLean, you know, told us that, and
McLean's the manager, just right? Clear.
Still,
okay.
Still manager. Cool. Since then, for 3 years.
Love it, love that.
So since we had that conversation, we decided to like commit to having him as our manager. We like started like working on songs that Forrest has already written, Kelly had already written.
Nice.
So we had Blurry Eyes, and so we would play that after, you know, whatever covers we'd play, and then people would start catching on, because after like 4 times hearing a song, you can kind of it's a pretty catchy,
it's catchy as hell.
Catchy song.
I don't want.
Yeah, it's like, you know, pentatonic like chorus, and everyone just kind of like, you know, at some point everyone just like kind of sings along, and like, wow, like people actually like this.
Yeah.
So we went into
great start, honestly.
took some of that frat gig money and went to 1093 with Jeff.
Okay. And cut it. Yeah. Okay. How many takes you guys take? You remember? Hell, it's been so long.
I don't know.
You guys did it live though, right?
We did it live actually, which is cool.
That is cool.
We did, so honestly, I mean, I think we had been in Nucci's for like the whole week, just like playing that one song,
really,
like,
just grinding,
hashing everything out.
Yeah.
And so I think honestly it didn't take too long, but
love that.
The more of it was just sitting down and being like, hey, like what do we want to do with this? Like how are we gonna?
It's so catchy, man. Jeez, I love your part in that. That like you can just hear you like you're in the left ear or something like that.
Yeah,
like
I just doing the organ, just kind of giving that little pad.
That seems like that's kind of your signature sound, the whole organ sound, isn't it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Would you say so or no?
I mean, wouldn't say permanently. I'd say at that point that was kind of like what would fit best in the songs. A lot of those songs we wrote were Southern rock songs, and organ is just the quintessential keyboard to use in that.
Is it an actual organ on the record, or is it like a keyboard with
on
a patch?
That one? No, on that one it's just I'm just using the like the Nord.
Like a patch, right?
Yeah, just doing digital.
Cool. It sounds great though. That's probably my favorite parts. I think coming out of the chorus or something, you can hear you really well in one ear. I don't know. I always notice it. It's kind of crisp. You know what I mean?
That was when I was like first starting to figure out like what drawbars are and like rotary acceleration. I was like, oh, like if I press this button, it like something spins faster. Like it sounds cool.
Love it, man.
Yeah, but
and at this point, are you like are you feeling confident on the instrument, or are you just like chording around? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like.
With
Are you already
with
proficient?
keys in general, or with
Yeah.
the technique of organ?
Both. I want to know about
Technique of organ, no. I'm still like, there's a whole side of organ because just the way it is, like notes don't sustain at all, and there's nothing like it's its own animal. So
Entity.
yeah, I'm trying to get better at that, and I don't have a Hammond B3
Yeah,
organ
just laying
sitting in my
around.
room, so it's kind of, I mean, but I have a Nord which kind of emulates that, and that was the first. Like I saved up for like 2 years working at a Thai restaurant in high school because I was like, oh yeah, like a Nord, like I want that because of the organ, because the action, like the waterfall keys you can smear into chords like they do on organs and all the other
interesting. I
features.
didn't
But
know
that
that.
was what really made me want that keyboard, and I've had it since like like 11th grade.
Nice. So
And
you
it's
still using it?
That's like I'm gonna take it to our first gig back on
man.
Friday. So
Love to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that.
That's my baby.
I watched a video, like a Tom Petty video, and they were talking about like all the pieces to an organ and how it works, and he was explaining it. I was like, damn, dude, I just thought it was like a piano, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there's
I
like
didn't
a
realize,
separate
like,
speaker,
something
and there's like,
spinning.
and then
Yeah.
the tweeter, you have to mic it up because it's like,
It's so interesting. It always sounds so crisp too on those Southern rock records. It really rounds things out more than people realize, in my opinion. I don't know
yeah,
what
it
you
kind of
think about
hones
that.
things together. It fills up any, like in the sonic scape, like anything that's kind of feels empty, you can kind of
yeah,
account for it with
like
a
wide.
with
I
just
don't
a
know.
sustaining organ, or like
Definitely.
even like rhythmic stuff on organ.
I remember the first time I was just starting to like I'm in Athens going to school, and when you first move here, it's kind of tough to figure out where all the bands are and everything when you don't know anybody. And I'm just starting to hear about you guys. I remember following you guys. And I see this video, you guys in Silver Dollar. I'm pretty sure it was in Silver Dollar, and you guys are playing Blurry Eyes. So I guess you guys have been doing it for a year or two now. And I just hear it, and I'm like, dude, that's a fucking like a Southern rock song. I'm like, what fucking song is that? I swear I played it for my mom. I was like, what song is this? She's like, I've never heard that. I was like, are we sure this isn't a popular song? Because it's so good, dude.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a fucking like you guys were just
It's just
covering
catchy,
something.
yeah.
So catchy, man. And then eventually I pieced it together. I was like, oh, this is fucking their song. That's great.
Yeah, well, it was crazy going from being like playing Can't You See and stuff like that
Love it.
to like going out there and playing. I mean, obviously for a while we had to play Can't You See because we didn't have any sort of discography.
Yeah.
But like playing a song like that, and then right after it playing Blurry Eyes and people singing it just like they're singing Can't You See, you're like, wow, like
I bet that was
it's a pretty
crazy.
decent song, I guess, if they're singing along.
It is, man. I feel like it's shit. It's got a shit ton of streams now. Do you know how many streams it has? 7 million? Or
So no.
Not
It's
that many?
it's like 650,000.
That's still no
It's a
small
lot.
feat,
Yeah, it's
bro.
a
That's
lot.
a fucking shit
It's that
ton.
catchiness, man.
Yeah, man. That's good stuff right there. I feel like I don't know. It's kind of weird to say that. It sounds like romanticized, but like that's kind of like when I'm first getting into Athens music. That's like one of the first songs I heard, so it makes me think about like a certain point in time. Is that weird to say? You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
when I
it's
think of it, I
kinda-
think of like freshman year, and
Yeah.
and a lot of it though is what I think of like listening to Blurry Eyes and listening to Middle, like how far everything's come,
Dude,
too.
Middle's a banger too. By the time you guys got to Middle, that I was like, oh, these guys are really figuring things out here.
Yeah, it's
It
like we're
seems
not
a
like
more
we're not
contrived-
using anyone else's blueprint. It's like we
Yeah.
kind of figured out our blueprint, and like
Absolutely.
and we're still obviously changing things
Yeah,
around, and
definitely.
we're experimenting a lot now with how we're writing. We just got a new bass player. I don't know if you know
I
Cutter.
met him last night.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
nice
awesome.
guy. Shout out Cutter. What's up?
Shout out
with
to
it?
Cutter Redden. He's a beast.
He is. It seems like it. Very cool guy. I was surprised that was his. Or Jeffrey called him like Big Cutter or something. I was like, is that really his name?
Yeah, Cutter,
Something.
dude. With a K.
I was like, that's awesome, man.
Kutter.
Sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice guy. So I think we skipped a few tunes here. Let's go. What will be next?
Okay, so we had
Fools.
Blurry Eyes, and then after that we had like the two singles that we released
Mm-hmm.
together, Miracle and Fool.
That's it. Okay. I like those too. Fool's kind of like a different vibe. Like
Yeah,
a laid
like
back.
Miracle was like kind of like hoppy
Mm-hmm.
classic rock, southern rock kind of, but like yeah, Fool was like cool because that was like that
Yeah.
was when I was like so we can kind of like do something
Really?
different, and then
Yeah.
we did the album where there's just different, like right after that
Mm-hmm.
was we released two singles off the album. Before that we had Get Down and Morning.
Get Down has the horns on it.
Get
right?
Down has the horns.
Get Down's
yeah.
kind of funky, man. I like
Get Down's really funky,
I
and we
like
got
it.
Selvaggi.
There was a few. Yeah, okay. So you really didn't have that many singles until the album came out. So
No.
4 singles?
I'm trying to think. I could
Maybe
be missing
5?
something. I don't know. I could be missing something, but I think there was, the 3, and then there was 2 singles from the album that we released before the album,
Okay.
and then released the album, which had like 11 songs.
Yeah, so really not a long period of like time for you guys to get to this album, right? Like on recording wise, because
No, we
so
did.
Good.
I remember like I was at Boyd. I had taken a test, then I like immediately like left my test,
Mm.
went to Chase Park, recorded, had to come back, like 2 hours later, take a quiz, and then go back to the studio. And then I was like, we did that for like 4 days. It was during exam week.
Of all weeks?
Literally of all weeks. So this is kind of like, we were like, yeah, this is the like best time to do it. And I was like, I mean, I guess for the band it is. But anyways, I just remember like it was like a 4 day, it was like 4 or 5 days of being in the studio. Maybe it was a week.
Yeah.
But like during the weekday, it was like.
So you guys, is it Chase Park Studio A? Is it the main room, or which one is it? Do you know?
When you walk in, it's to the right. But then we did some of the mixing, I think, in the room to the left as well.
And you guys recorded all 11 songs in 5 days?
Yes.
That's pretty impressive.
Or like 5 or 6, and then with a day of mixing, or 2 days of mixing probably. I think we aimed to have 5 days with all the takes, and then 2 days of mixing, and then there was still some, you know.
Is there a lot of overdubs? Not really, right?
No, I mean, we recorded to tape for that.
Yeah, really? I didn't know
recorded
that.
to tape and then put it into Pro Tools.
Dumped it over?
So there was like, you know, still some of, like, we didn't go straight to tape, but we recorded all of our takes into tape.
Gotcha.
Which is very interesting, because it was like,
that's awesome.
It's like, we got to use this, like, don't screw up.
Get it right.
It's getting etched into the tape. So
there's gonna be no cutting, you know what I'm saying? No slicing around.
Yeah, there wasn't too much slicing, but there was some over taping, I think.
Yeah, okay, interesting. That's cool. I didn't know you guys made it tape. It sounds great, man. It's really impressive for a first album to have this many cuts that are like super solid, like catchy as fuck. Like, I was very surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all came down to, there was a lot of those songs that we wrote together as a band, especially after Cam joined.
Yeah.
And then there were some songs that were like, you know, like Kelly had it written out and like brought it to the band, and we changed it around, or Forrest had it written out. So it was
interesting.
You know.
So that was another thing I was going to ask you. The songwriting process. I assume it's never the same. Or you guys got somebody bringing?
It's not ever the same.
Really?
Especially since Cutter joined, because Cutter and Kelly live together, and they'll send in the group a demo of some song that they made on Ableton with like, you know, them like Cutter playing bass, Kelly playing guitar, and then them just like punching in drums on the MIDI on MIDI and doing keys on MIDI, and then I'm like, this is a solid thing, and then we'll go to practice and be like, we'll play it, and then we'll be like, all right, like let's work this out, and then like it'll sound completely different by the end of the day, but
interesting.
Like, you know, they'll have an idea, or like Forrest will have an idea,
so
or I'll have an idea, and then we just kind of develop it.
Does Forrest always write the words?
Forrest always writes the words, but
interesting.
Occasionally if he's feeling like, because a lot of the songs are like, you know, very like, some are very personal, or like,
definitely.
you know, or like if he's singing it, it's gonna want to be his words, you know.
You
but there's a lot of times when he's like, hey, like, what do y'all think about this? Or he's always saying that, but there's sometimes he's like, what should I say here? And someone will say something, he'll use that. But
so it's a group effort.
Yeah, it's very group democratic effort, which is awesome.
I kind of wondered how it worked, if like he was bringing in whole songs and you guys were just spicing them up, or if you were bringing in keys parts, or
normally like with Mistakes, I just came up with that, like, you know, the intro lick. I don't know if you know, like dun, 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 dun,
yeah, I know.
And like chords on the left, and then Cam kind of did some drums to match it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, like Forrest found some sort of, like Kelly found some sort of verse rhythm, and then like, you know, I came up some for the chorus like melody, and then you know, Forrest decided to do something. So it's just kind of like, we're just kind of like piecing together. It's like we all have Legos, and we're just kind of like figuring out, like, and then if like we need to take something out and put a different piece on it, you know, it makes sense. It's just like,
that's interesting. This is a weird question, I guess, but like, do you have a ratio of how many songs don't make it? I'm just curious about stuff like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys say, you guys write 30.
It's all a time thing. And I mean, there are so many songs where we're like, we really like this, and then we'll find ourselves going in a rabbit hole of trying to change it because we'll feel like it sounds too like this or too like whatever. And so sort of some of those songs, we just throw them in our back pocket per se. But I mean, ideally everything gets developed, but there's some ideas that we're more enthused about than others, and so they're kind of higher up on the waiting list.
Interesting.
But
that's cool way to put it. Some of them go back to the factory, got to get worked on.
Some of them, some of them might gather a little dust until we take them out, but you know, hopefully
take it for a spin.
Hopefully we don't let them sit for too long, because we want it to be relatively fresh. But you know, we kind of try to prioritize things on like how enthused we are collectively.
Yeah, it's like you can feel it when it's right. You know
like whenever we're like, dang, like even if it's like just a demo that someone's sending in, and we're like, we all feel it. We're like, yeah, let's work on that. You know.
Interesting. So let's talk about the album tracks. I wrote down my favorite ones, by the way. I don't know if you want to hear them, but let's see. Here they are.
I would love to.
My top 5, maybe 6, would be, not in this order, but just my top 5. No, this is my number 1. My number 1 is Bad for the Money.
Yeah,
that's a badass song, dude.
I love that song.
There's good songs that are like catchy and make you feel something, and then there's songs that are fucking badass. And Bad for the Money is sweet.
That's a cool song. Yeah.
Is this the one with the synth thing in the outro, right?
Yeah, so I'm doing like the synth arpeggios.
Yeah, what is that? Is it just like how did that come about?
So at the end I was like, I kind of want to do a synth solo, but then I was like, the reason why we added that section actually was because we wanted to modulate into, I can't remember what the next song is. It's a song in A. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to modulate, so we did that, and I was like, oh, well, I can do a synth solo. And they're like, maybe just try doing like some sort of arpeggio, and so I just did that, and then it's kind of gave it like a smooth ending that kind of serves as its own transition.
Nice.
Rather than being a solo that just kind of ends at the end of the song.
Yeah.
It'd be better to kind of have just something that's kind of rhythmic and flows into the next
It does
song.
really well. I like it. It's super catchy. It's like I'm on a spaceship or something, man.
That was definitely what we were going for.
Yeah, I like it. It's like Steve Miller Band or something. I don't know. Kind of spacey. I like it. Very cool. Okay, my other 4. Let's see. Forrest was talking about this one last night. Whiskey, bro. Why is Whiskey getting hate? Come on, Whiskey's a banger. Whiskey was catching some smoke last night at the bar, and I'm not taking it, bro.
Whiskey catches internal smoke from the band.
Is it just because it's not hype enough for the live show or something? You know what I mean? Like it's not upbeat.
I don't know. I don't know. Everyone has their own different opinions on it. I just personally, there's just other songs I like, but I loved it. Like I loved it when we play it because it has like whenever we play it live, it have a lot of energy. But I think the take and just kind of like the way we had that song written out like could have been better, and we kind of feel like we might have jumped the gun on it or something, but. A lot of people love that song, and I think it's a great song.
Yeah, I do too.
But it's like that, as a musician, you're always thinking, I could have done this
That's
better.
true, yeah.
It's like, you could write the best song in the world and be like, oh, like...
Yeah, that would.
If I had just, spent, 3 more days working on it, it'd be just a little bit better. And it's, not,
Yeah, man, it's great. See, if you'd have never told me that, I never would have known. I'd have thought you guys just thought it was the best song ever. You know what I mean? It's like a perception thing.
It's like one of those songs, we're glad we have it, but it's like... We would rather play Get Down or Middle or Morning than that, just because, I don't know,
That makes perfect sense, man. I love it, though. Let's see what else I got. I got Death of a Ramblin' Man, classic. Flying High, Seeing Ain't Believing. That's a nice one. You got a little synth action in there, too, right?
No, clavinet.
Oh, okay, nice. Yes, okay.
There is some synth at the end, but I'm doing it behind Kelly's insanely mind-blowing solo that he does.
So good, man. He's got such a good tone and everything.
Yeah, he's sick.
You guys seem like you got this I don't know how to describe it, but it's like none of you guys are I don't want to say calm, but it's like you guys have this kind of chaotic energy thing going on where none of you are really controlled. Does that make sense?
In that song you're saying, or
just in general kind of like Forrest is always screaming and you're
improvising around on stage. Yeah,
you're improvising on some shit. I'm pretty sure in the show, right? Of course.
Yeah, I try to. Sometimes I need to be reined back because I'm gotta keep
maybe a little too much.
Yeah. And
then Kelly, he's got his whole just ripping it, just feeling it. And then Cam, he's always hitting the shit out of him. You know what I mean? So it just seems like you guys have a lot going on. It's like nobody's like, hey, we need to be perfect like this. You know what I mean?
I think what it is we're relatively calm people, but I think there's just it's an outlet for all this energy, and it's once we're on that stage and there's people there, they're reciprocating whatever energy we put out. We feel like we can just kind of let it all out and just be,
I love that.
Be this, and it's also just it feels so good to be doing that.
Yeah, it does.
It's hard not to let it take control of you.
It's like you're in the zone and just nothing can touch you. You know.
Yeah, it's I'm on the stage. Even if I play a wrong note, I'm happy because everyone around me is smiling.
Yeah.
Look over, and my best friends are on stage with me, having the time of their life with me. It's
that's
awesome.
Really
man. Lucky to be doing that. So.
I'm very envious. I like it. So you guys, is there any tension in the band? Are you guys all pretty calm? You guys ever argue?
I mean,
that kind of shit?
It's
surely you do, right?
If you're brothers, you're gonna argue, and I'd say we're all brothers at this point. And so we argue, but it's always the next day we're I love you. It's just being a dick. I can be a dick sometimes. So you just gotta, I love you though, and then it's we're good.
I love that, man. Yeah, there's nothing like arguing with your brothers. You know what I mean? It doesn't really mean
you gotta
anything.
fight to show that you love them, right? I don't know. That's from my experience.
Makes so much sense, man. Oh man. So at this point, are you guys kind of consider yourself a live band first, right? Wouldn't you say isn't that your specialty for sure? I'd say so, right?
I'd say the energy is conveyed the best through our live show, and right now we're just trying to have, obviously, because the cards we've been dealt with the music industry right now, where it is, we're trying to focus on conveying everything through the music and through the songwriting, just because that's how we can. But I think once we start playing shows, we're going to go back to like focusing on like how can we keep being energetic, making our shows new and like
interesting. That's cool. That's good way to think. Sounds like you guys are really smart about this kind of stuff. Are there any on your way up though, or actually just to date, are there any like key shows that you would note? Obviously the theater shows and like played 40 Watt a couple times, right? Any like notable events, you know what I mean?
Like in our history?
Yeah, just in your history.
Oh yeah. So
I'm sure there's plenty.
There's plenty. And I think like the progress kind of went from we played around and we played obviously the fraternity shows, played bars. But then we got the opportunity we opened up at 40 Watt for Orange Constant, and then we played at Nowhere Bar, which is really cool. And then we got to play the Rooftop, and that was a huge honor. Drew got us up there.
Yes, Drew's
the man. Drew,
yes.
absolutely.
Drew's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Drew.
Happy birthday, Drew.
Hope you see this shit, man.
Miss you.
He was telling me about this. He said that the plan was to get you guys on the Rooftop, see how it went, and then bring you back, sell tickets the second time. You guys pretty much sold it out, right? The second time? And
the Rooftop?
Then bring you downstairs, right?
Yeah, so we played a show up there, and then we played another show up there, and he was really pleased with how that went, and he was like, let's get you down there. And we were like, down,
oh, shit.
like down there?
In the basement?
Like, you mean like, like what, in like the elevator? Like, what do you mean? No, and so we got to do that, he's Drew. He helped us out, man. He's just such a great guy.
Such a nice guy, man.
Really grateful for that opportunity. And so we did that, and we
it was like a Tuesday, wasn't it?
It was a Tuesday night, and we were lucky enough to sell it out, which was really awesome. That was a huge honor.
Man. That is awesome.
And I mean, at that point, we were kind of like, we knew that we had like had moderate success in certain scenes in Athens, but we didn't feel super like we played that show very well. But we did not feel like, we've almost felt like, dude, like, should we be up here? Like, I just saw like, I just saw like Marcus King here like 2 weeks ago. Like, this is kind of screwing with me. But, and then we was after, so we had and then like all that time passed, about 8 months, 9 months. Actually, no, that was September, that first show. And then January we released our album. And so that second Georgia Theater show was our album release show.
Okay.
And then that one was, we were up there and we were like, all right, like this is our second time here. We're familiar with the stage. Right. We're not like shaken up by where we are. We released an album. We've just been in the studio playing these songs. We got Cam, who's a beast.
No doubt.
And
how did that one go?
And that one went amazing, and it just was, that was surreal. That's always going to be one of my favorite nights of my life.
I believe it, man. I believe
that.
And sold it out again, right?
Sold it out again, yeah. Sold it out again, and then
twice.
And then we played some other shows. We played 40 Watt. We played a 40 Watt show with Jester, which was there.
Sick. I saw that. That was a fun one.
Jester guys are awesome.
They are awesome. Rest in peace,
Jester. Rest in peace, Jester.
Jester, gone but not forgotten. Good band. You guys played a cover that night. What was it? Maybe it was In One Ear by Cage the Elephant.
Yeah,
Do you remember this?
And
I
then,
was like, let's go.
And then at the end of the show, which is really cool, was we played Get Back.
Get Back.
No, not Get Back. Some Beatles
remember.
song. I can't remember. I don't know.
Shit, I don't know. It's been a while, but that was a good one too. I was just thinking about it. I was like, damn, dude, saw AFTM and Jester in little bitty 40 Watt, or well, not little bitty, but you know what I mean? Like, that's just an awesome fucking duo to see right there. And that's awesome, man.
I mean, because like I had known of 40 Watt before coming there, and I had never even thought I'd play a show in 40 Watt.
Yeah.
The Rooftop of the Georgia Theater, Nowhere Bar, even downstairs. Silver Dollar Bear. It was like I didn't know I'd be doing that, and then the next thing you know, it was like
that's crazy.
Playing it. Because I remember Jester was playing like before I even joined AFTM, and I was like listening to their music, and I was like, dude, these guys are like sick. And
next thing you know,
with the 40 Watt playing with them, looking over, like playing a cover at the end of the show for the encore, like next to the Jester guys, singing into a mic with, Andrew or Tommy, and being like, whoa, like these guys are sick.
They are, man.
And they're right there, and we're right here. And
full circle, man.
Yeah, and then so those shows in Athens were very important, and then we were lucky enough to be able to play shows in Atlanta. Our first show outside of Athens in Atlanta that was like a big deal was Smith's Old Bar, which went really well. And then some time passed and we played there again. Then we played Played Aisle 5.
Aisle 5.
Which was really cool.
I don't think I've been there.
We had 2 nights there. We had one night we had Underground Springhouse opening. The other night we had Kindle Street Company.
Okay, cool.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
Those both went really well. And then we had a show in Terminal West like right before 2020. Or it might have been. Yeah, it was in like November 2019.
And so you guys, Athens, Atlanta, and you're just expanding at this point, right?
Yeah. So
where else are you guys hitting?
So
Alabama at one point.
We've gone to like Tuscaloosa, Oxford. Played in Nashville.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, we played in UVA. We've played in
UVA?
University of Virginia in Charlottesville.
Okay. Gotcha.
Played
cool.
in UNC.
You guys hit the damn Southeast, didn't you?
Yeah,
You
dude.
said
Last
SEC.
fall, I want to say we played like 50 shows, like just during football season.
Busy boys.
Yeah, I mean, we had just gotten our van, Vanessa.
Yeah.
And
so
we were,
classic.
we put her to the test and we were like hitting it. I remember it was like every Friday, ideally after classes, I'd
hopefully
if I'm lucky,
sometimes
we'd get in the van and then Sunday night I'd get back at like 6:00.
Whew, that's a busy weekend.
Yeah,
man.
sometimes getting back at midnight on Sunday and waking up for my 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday class and being like,
I'm surprised you guys' grades haven't decreased a good bit, or have they?
yeah, I've been lucky enough to
slide through.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there.
Love it, man.
Still in school though, so.
Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, you guys are like just from somebody else on the scene or trying to be on the scene. Like just from the earlier, like 2 years ago, you guys were like writing the template on what to do, and believe me, everybody's watching you guys now. We're all taking notes out here. Like, damn, these boys know what they're doing.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully, the world can stop burning and we can.
Hopefully
get
soon,
back
man.
to it,
dude. How about 420 Fest, bro? You guys got to be bummed about this.
Yeah, we're double bummed because we were like, like 420 Fest is gonna be so sick. Like, oh my
man.
god, like a Dr. Dog's gonna be there. Like, do I get to see like Dr. Dog and like all these things, and then it fell through, and then they were like, well, they're just gonna do it till next year, and I was like, oh well, like that's far away, but I can wait. Like,
it's worth it.
Surely things will be fine.
Surely,
by
yes. By next, it's usually in the summer. It's usually in April, right? Or I
think it's like April 20 something.
So you guys would be gearing up right now for it, boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'd be getting ready.
Oh no, it'd have been last April, right?
It would have been last April, but then they were like, yeah, we're gonna do it instead the same lineup in April 2021. Man. And so now we're like, obviously, the world's not ready to have a music festival.
Yeah, not
so
quite
now
yet.
I'm just like, I was like, But I mean, April 2022, man. Maybe.
Yes, we'll be there. See you guys.
Well, I don't know. Let's just hope. It would be an honor. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys were, I assume you were early on the bill, like just playing in the middle of the day or something.
Yeah, we were playing. As like a side stage. I think there's like 3 or 4 main stages. We were playing like a side stage, but it was like at a reasonable time. It was like a 5 o'clock or
Dude,
like
that's
4 o'clock
nice.
thing, which is sick.
Yeah, I figured you guys would be on at like lunch. You know what I mean?
And then I'd get to go and watch all the bands that I love.
Free entry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you'd pay to
even
go.
Better.
So you guys, are you assigned to some production company or something, or a booking agent or anything?
Yeah, we are signed. Yeah, we're signed to Mint Talent Agency.
Mint Talent Agency. How does that work? Is that like they book you?
We have a booking agent. Yeah, we have a booking agent named David. We were with Nimble Slick, and we just moved over with David because he moved over to Mint. And so it's a Mint Talent Group is what it's called.
Cool. Okay, and they just helped you guys out with
they help us out with booking shows and tours and kind of just
That's awesome.
Almost and kind of in like a development sense too. Like he's like, hey, like these shows be good for now, but like hopefully y'all release some music and then we can hit these markets, or we can try to get this venue after a while. It's like they have like they know exactly what to do with us.
Interesting.
How to handle us.
Yeah, this isn't their first rodeo.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Exactly.
So you guys, I assume you had plans to like expand. You've hit the South, right? You guys going north? Any? Got anything eventually?
This summer. So with David, our booking agent, he's trying to get us. He's working out some stuff to go up up the East Coast and back, go over to like Colorado and back and. Stop in Texas and stuff. So I'm excited for that.
You guys gonna start flying, or you're driving?
Vanessa, baby, you putting those miles
Van Halen,
on.
I love it.
Yeah, Van Halen. Yeah.
Love it, man. That's awesome. Yeah, what is it like It's like a little bus, right? It's not even a van, is it? It's like a charter.
Is a van. We had a charter for one gig. For once, like we had 3 shows in a row, and we were like, let's just like hit the road. We don't need to all drive. It's not like economical to like everyone drive a car.
Load up the Camrys.
Load up the Camrys. Exactly. So we rented a shuttle, and we called it the spaceship, and that was cool. But then we were like, all right, like we're gonna spend so much money on gas,
eating our profits.
Yeah, and so we got the van, and we love her.
I love that, man. You just bought it?
I mean, we're still kind of paying it off. But,
Okay, gotcha. So you got a new van, or fairly new?
It was a Baptist church van.
Okay, cool.
It
That
said
sounds smart.
like Celebration Baptist Church on it, and I was trying to convince the band to leave it on, but they were like, I don't know, like it's it might not be.
You guys got an AFTM logo on that thing yet?
I think we might have slapped an AFTM. We
slapped
got
it?
that
I
and a
love
Mr. Zog's sex wax sticker that I found.
Love it, man. Love it. I'm curious about this kind of stuff. If you guys don't want to talk about finances, you obviously don't have to. But like, do you guys save a percentage? Like,
Yeah. So
you know
what
I
we
mean?
used to do was, I mean, I could be wrong. I think whenever we played all those shows, like last fall, those 50 shows, we do 50% of the show profits go to the band or go to like paying out everyone at the end of the month. And then 50% goes into the band bank account for, hotels, studio
bands.
time,
stuff like
van
that.
payments.
Yeah, okay.
know.
I think that's really smart. I know it's kind of nerdy, but I'm just curious about shit like that.
Yeah. And then like before that, so obviously the percentage that goes to the booking agent and the percentage that goes to McLean.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, so take that off the top. That's kind of stuff.
And then slice it in half and and then give me a piece and then slice that off and let me eat it, and then give the rest of the cake to the boys, and then the rest of it we put that cake in the fridge.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
Love it. That's the best way you could have put it right there. So, do you guys have any back on the label thing? Do you guys have any aspirations? Like, are you guys like actively trying to get signed, or are you just like doing your thing?
Yeah, for sure. We're not pitching right now. What we want to do is build up a catalog, and that's kind of what we're doing. Is we're meeting up right now. Right now, we're just running through sets and kind of subtly working on new ideas just to get ready for, playing back. And we got a new bass player. But, I think that phase will be over, and then we can go straight to just working all these demos. There's probably about like 15, 20 different song ideas that we could be working on that are just sitting in our Google Drive as demos. And we want to, and we bought this. No, like 15 demos, and there's probably like 20 or something total song ideas. But
damn, that's a lot of meat right there. That's a ton.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of them could literally just be a guitar riff. Some of it could be just chords and some verse, but some of them are like full hashed out, sections. But I mean, so we're kind of like we're gonna eventually try to develop those, and once we have solid demos for those, which like with enough songs that we think is good enough to show,
10,
we'll go
11, something
10,
like
11, maybe 15, or ideally what we do is we develop 30 songs, and then we take the 12 or 15 best of those and be like, this is what we want to like use to pitch, and then start actively pitching to labels.
I get what
and
you
being
mean.
like, hey, like this is music that we have written, we haven't really like mixed and released it.
So the plan is to get them to fund the recording, kind of, right? Or would it already be recorded?
Honestly, I wish I see our M-Bus sticker. I wish I was in the music business program, but I
thought you were, man.
I'm not, dude.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm too busy.
I wanted to. Playing.
Well, no, if I was a business student, I would have done it. But I was just like with engineering and stuff, it's just hard to.
Yeah, I imagine so. You're a busy bee.
Yeah,
that's just hard. I hear about that.
I mean, yeah, it keeps you busy, but Anyway, so yeah, what we want to do is take those, ideally like 12 or 15 best demos and go to a label and be like, hey, this is our music. Are you like, what do you think?
Interesting.
That's
smart, man. I never would have thought of it. I figured you guys would like record it first, like actually have.
Well,
your
that's
thing
what we're
ready.
doing. Was like we have 2 songs that we just went to the mountains and we recorded. We have a rig.
That was cool.
An X32 rig.
Yeah, that's
and
sick.
so we just hooked that up to Ableton, and it has all the inputs, and so we just go straight in, and
that's wicked.
And
man.
so Cam's mixing it. Cam's been studying how to mix and taking classes from Berkeley and online about production and stuff. And he's grinding on that, and so we're all just kind of working on our own production equipment. So like I'm trying to get different.
Seems like you guys
VSTs
all have
and
it
stuff.
going on. You know what I mean? Like Kelly and the bass player
Cutter,
Cutter, they were talking about recording Ableton last night. So I was like, damn, everybody knows what they're doing in here. Like nobody's just like laying
I will
around.
say I'm a fiddler on Logic, but I'm no producer. Yeah, that's my next. That's the next frontier for me.
Yeah, learn how to produce.
Yeah,
I feel like it's always interesting, man. It's just like an endless hole of things you could learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
just
never. It's like
endless.
one door opens up a hallway that has 200 other doors.
Yes,
and
exactly.
It's like, just keeps
That's
going.
fascinating, man. You guys are killing it though. You did 4 singles in a month or 2 months, right? Recently, right?
Yeah, well, so
we're up to
about
date
those
now.
Is those were our quarantine singles.
Nice. Okay.
So we recorded those right when COVID hit. So we took January and February of 2020 off because we were like, I mean, we didn't know that COVID was gonna happen. We were like, oh, like let's just write, like let's work on some songs, like get some songs, get them perfectly, record them, and release them, and then we can go and play our shows just to kind of like make things fresh because we had been grinding on the road playing the same songs.
Yeah.
We were like, we need some new music and
some material.
So we wrote those songs and we spent like those 2 months doing that, and then March we played like a show or two. Or no, we played like one show at the end of February, and then March came and we were gonna have our Georgia Theater show, our third Georgia Theater show on St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. I remember this.
After
it got
spring
canceled,
break,
right?
I was on spring break, and they were like, "Yeah, like
don't come back."
Yeah, don't come back. You're kicked out of school. The country's ending.
Yeah, it's just chaos.
I was like,
man.
oh my god, what does this mean? And then so obviously that show had to get canceled. So
that's such a bummer.
But I still have like the poster, and I have a bunch of posters that I give to my friends. They're like, yeah, I have the poster for the show that never happened.
Oh shit, let me get one for the wall in here.
I got you, man.
You got me, man. I appreciate that. That'd be sweet. Get a little signature action on there from the goats. I love it, man. Is there like, you played the theater twice, you sold it out twice. Is there any pressure on that, or do you just feel more confident, like, oh, we're gonna sell it out again? Or,
no,
you know what I mean?
I think the thing was after the second time we were like, we really need to make sure that we don't. I mean, we really need to make sure that we don't not sell it out because that would make us look like we're on a decline. But at the same time, we were also like, you know what, like, that's not what it's about.
Yeah,
it's really about the fact that we're allowed to be playing at the Georgia Theater again. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
That's an honor in itself. Like, not selling out wouldn't hinder that to us at all. Like, we'd still be on that stage being super grateful and happy to be there. You know? So.
It's real easy to overthink things like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And
it's like, we got a month to the show. Like, what if we fuck up? What if it's not as good as last time? You know what I mean?
Even to like let your ego be like, oh, dude, people are going to think we suck if we don't sell it out.
Yeah, it's so easy to do that. But no need. You guys got this shit. I'm loving it. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Tell me about the 4 singles, though, the quarantine singles. What went into these? Was there a different recording process?
Very, very, very different recording process. So up until then, everything we recorded was live in a studio. Ideally, live takes.
No metronome.
Maybe, no. Some of them would have a click, but not all of them.
Gotcha.
So what had to happen, because we were like, I was getting back from spring break. Everyone was doing different stuff. People living like, coming back from college to be with their parents, and we didn't know who would be safe to meet up with. We didn't know if COVID would kill everybody that we saw.
Didn't really know,
we didn't know. We were just terrified. So we were like, all right, everyone's just gonna go back home. Like, bring all your recording stuff. So Cam had his interfaces and his mics for his drums. So he would cut the drums, and ideally what they would do is, because Kelly played the bass on that.
Okay.
On all those 4 songs.
Because the twins have left the band at this point, or
John had parted ways with the band to go do his own thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
His music.
Gotta respect that.
John McClain, really good. You should check out his stuff.
Dude, he rips.
He rips. And DJ Kill Will. Love.
Yes, Kill Will rips too, man. Saw him at
amazing.
the 40 watt. Very cool. Very cool.
But yeah, so John had left, and so Kelly was doing the bass for that, and so Kelly and Cam would record on their own using the rig that we got.
Just trying to get the rhythm section tight, kind of thing.
Yeah, so just what we call it, like a backing track. So they'd have the backing track. For one of the songs, Cam recorded on his own, but for the other 3, it was them 2. And so they'd send that over, put it in a Google Drive. I'd download it into Logic, record my stuff, put those tracks back in the Google Drive, and then, Forrest would go and record.
Cut the vocals and guitar.
Yeah, and then so next thing you know, we sent it to John McClain. He mixed it and had it all sounding right.
I didn't even realize that I figured you guys, I could tell it sounded less live per se, but that's awesome that you guys like figured out a way to do it with quarantine. You know what I mean? That's smart. That's very wise.
I mean, it's crazy what you can do with one of those,
and one of these. It's
and
crazy,
one of those,
man.
and the internet.
I was reading this one thing. It was like, oh man, maybe it's not even true, but it was like something like any kid nowadays with this, that, and that can make like any song from the past, like any top 10 song in the 2000s or something. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can just do it. Like that's fucking insane, man.
I know. Yeah. I mean, like it's all right there.
Yeah, it is, man. It's crazy. I don't know. It's just fascinating. That's why I want to make a record on tape like you guys. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think we're done with that. I think we're getting more to the digital. Like I'm using like Omnisphere and like Keyscapes on my stuff, which is like a virtual instrument instead of like,
it's like
instead of like miking up an upright piano. I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna use the digital thing.
Yeah,
MIDI.
yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna print it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
Okay.
oh, if I mess up, I can change the velocity of this note.
Yeah,
It's like,
okay, gotcha.
but then that's a
Interesting.
rabbit hole in itself. So
That's true. Yeah, it leads to just working too hard on something. I guess.
yeah,
I don't know, but
there's definitely like a balance, and I think it's like
are you into soundscaping any? Do you know what I mean by that?
like creating sounds.
Yeah, like atmospheres and shit. I guess not for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, I
stuff.
do.
But you know
I've
what
been,
I mean?
So I've been like trying to develop my skills in Logic. Especially like I'll mess around and try to make like a lo-fi beat or just a rap beat or just like a sort of like neo soul type of instrumental song. And with that I'll use Omnisphere and do like textures and atmospheric stuff and drones. But most of the time I'm just I'm either doing keyscapes like focusing on keyboard sounds or I mess around on like my Moog like trying to figure out how to change parameters to make certain sounds. Or
are you like when you're playing live, are you like changing settings every song? Like, you know what I mean? Do you have
so
are you like beep 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 bad for the money pulls up? Is that what it's like? Or
yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's really like, so I mean it depends on what my setup is, but so for now what I'm probably gonna do just to make my life easier is I'll use my Nord and a micro Korg. My Nord I'll just have like I'll just know like, okay, like if I go to patch 2, like 2.2 is the electric piano, so I'll use that for the verse. And then 2.3, I just click one button is the organ. So when I go to the chorus, I can just go straight to organ.
Interesting.
So it's just kind of like,
yeah,
it's just kind of like setting it up. But I mean, sometimes at like a live show, if it's not like a venue show, I'll just kind of like change which patch I use. I'm like, oh, like maybe Seeing Ain't Believing would sound cool with a Rhodes sound instead of a clavinet, or you know.
Got to keep it interesting. You know
I got to switch it up just kind of for your mental health.
See, I've never like I have a piano right here and right here, but like I can't like play like you guys. So I've always been interested. I haven't had any really good piano players on the show, so you're the first. Shout out. And I saw you play with Springhouse, and I don't know if you practiced with it. Did you practice with them for that show?
Oh, for the theater?
Because you were like fucking like improvising. I was like, it looks like he's just improvising. Were you, or had you practiced?
So what I did was, I mean, I practiced with him twice.
Yeah.
So what I did was I had Benji write down all the chords.
Okay.
And so I would I sat down and kind of like play, like just listen to all their songs, because all of them except for a couple songs were on Spotify. And then the covers, I just looked up how to play, like looked up the chords for the covers, and then went to practice and, just kind of
jammed
ran
around
through everything twice, basically.
Damn, really?
And then went on stage, and I was like, oh, I don't fuck up. Hope I don't fuck up. And I mean, I probably fucked up, but I don't think anyone noticed.
No, dude, no, I was there. You were great. It was fantastic. I was like, damn, they are ripping it, man.
Yeah, and I was in a dress too. Dude.
Yes,
awesome.
I loved that.
That was my favorite, dude. That was like that's why I like love that night, because I was like, dude, never again will I be able to play on stage with a band called Big Chungus in a dress in front of like 800 people, and then go
love it
with like some of my other best friends, Underground Springhouse, and play on stage.
A whole nother set.
Yeah.
It seemed like everybody was just friends in that lineup. That seemed really cool.
That was the best part. Yeah.
It seemed like a collective kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's probably
that was the funnest probably green room hangout.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet it smelled funny in there, didn't it?
Yeah, everyone was all Well, we were all sweaty too, so I smelled especially bad.
That's hilarious, man. I think that was. I worked at the theater for like 3 months, and that was definitely like top 3 show I saw there easily, maybe number 1. Just fantastic. Which leads us into, I didn't want to talk about just AFTM. We should definitely talk about Big Chungus too, because I'm super interested in this. How did this become a thing?
So I had been introduced to Sam Groveman through Kelly and Jacob Selvaggi through Kelly.
Is Jacob the sax? Okay.
The filthiest sax player I'll ever know.
So cool. Yeah.
And then Jackson Thompson. Just from mutual
just
friends,
holding it down on the bass.
Yeah,
such a nice guy.
So awesome. They're all so great. Yes. And so I just kind of I knew all of them, and I knew that they were all good, and I knew that we all kind of like had similar interests at the time. And I was getting into playing standards and like kind of twisting up like jazz standards and making them sound different. And so we were kind of like, I kind of was like, hey, like, what do y'all think about having an instrumental band that plays like jazz standards, funk standards, and like writes our own like different songs and like plays, bossa tunes, or plays like an Afro-Cuban song, or
and no singer, right? Like what?
And no vocals whatsoever.
Does Jackson sing sometimes?
Jackson does sing, but it's just like there's one time like where we'll have a groove, and he'll be like, all right, tone down, and he'll come up and he'll just like improvise lyrics. I'm like, dude, like we could be doing this on like every song.
That's
like,
awesome,
he has such a good voice.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's such a strong player too. God,
he's insane. And he plays guitar, and he plays mandolin. It's
super
like
talented. That was interesting. I saw you guys at 40 Watt Club opening for somebody. Maybe it was Everyday Dogs. Was it Everyday Dogs?
Everyday Dogs, yeah.
Yeah, I was at Soundchecks. We recorded it or whatever, and you were doing that thing with the fucking EA Sports thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
EA
yeah,
Sports, it's in the game.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, nice.
Yeah, that was funny. I had that and like the bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. That's cool. And like, you guys, is that your first show? It seemed like it because you guys were fairly new, right?
Yeah, we were new to the scene, but we had played Nowhere Bar and we played Silver twice.
Oh, okay. I bet that was fun.
That was fun, yeah. So honestly, like, yeah, those were like we played like 3 of those shows.
Nice.
And then I'm trying to think if we had any
When does the band start? It's 2019?
2018.
Really?
No,
Okay.
wait,
so
it was my sophomore year. It was
Yeah.
it was like late first semester, so I guess that's
Okay, so you guys were at it longer than I thought. Because I thought the 40 Watt was your first show. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers have a crowd, man. They're
No,
good,
I mean
too.
most of it was just like us playing around, but I think we played Silver like 2 or 3 times.
Nice.
And then we played we played 40 Watt that one
So
time.
what's
We played
the
Nowhere Bar.
aspirations on that band? Are you guys like trying to do that, like take it all the way, or is it just like a fun thing, or?
Yeah, it's definitely just a fun thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to do something with them, but we're all kind of have our own things. Like I have AFTM, Kelly has AFTM, same as Orange Constant, who's a
Busy Bee.
legitimate touring act. And
Yes.
it's like, and like so it's tough, but
That's awesome though. Like it's like kind of like cool because like I'm sure like eventually it'll pan out or whatever. You know what I mean? But it'll be like damn, you just had to be there. You know what I mean? Like if you were there, you saw them. If not,
I actually
that's it.
texted those guys. I was like drunk. It's like Saturday night. And I went and like searched in my group me like old history and like Big Chungus, and it was like had been since quarantine that we, or since like
Posted anything?
COVID first hit that we
Said anything?
said anything, and I was like, we need to awaken the beast. It's
Let's
time.
do it. Yes, I
We
want
need
to see it.
We need to congregate the council.
Yes, bring the Jedi Council out right quick. You guys should play Silver again. That'd be fun.
I know that'd be
That'd be
really
sick,
fun.
wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
full capacity now, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like that's hairy.
It's a little bit. I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's a moral dilemma, but
So tell me about you guys' 2 shows that are coming up with AFTM because we're almost at an hour, so I'll give it a wrap. I held you a little longer than I wanted to.
That's cool.
We're having too much
Time's
fun.
been flying.
It's
dude.
fun, isn't it, man? It's a good time. So yeah, tell me about these 2 shows that are coming out so we can get the details to the people.
Yeah, so April 9th, we have
Love it.
April 9th from the Earth Brewery. AFTM's playing in Roswell, Georgia.
Awesome.
There's still tickets available. It's a
Near
pod
Atlanta.
show, so essentially you have your own area and you buy the pod, so it's for 4 people and you can dance
awesome.
all around your pod and
I'm down for that.
and it's
That's
safe.
Cool.
You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about getting infected. So that's good. That's important.
That's always good. And
That's-
there's
yeah.
another show, isn't there? Maybe. I feel like there's
We
one
have-
in local. Maybe not.
No, not yet.
Interesting. Well,
I mean,
TBD.
everything's up in the air. You know,
Yeah.
you can never be too sure about a show. I mean,
Definitely.
we're starting to play, private things, but that's the April 9th. That's gonna be that's our big, coming back.
Yes, I look forward to it, man. I think I'm gonna have to make the drive up there. I might have to do it.
Yeah, man. All I know is one day we wanna get back in the theater whenever the world is ready
Dude.
for the Georgia Theater.
When the Georgia Theater
I don't think the
opens
world
back
is
up.
ready right now for the Georgia Theater.
Soon though. Come on.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean,
May.
yeah, you can't rush the process.
That's true. You gotta trust the process. You can't rush
You
it.
gotta trust it. Yeah. You gotta,
It's gonna be so sweet though when it does come
when
back. bro.
it's like it's just building and building, and
Yes.
then one day it's gonna be like
I want to
yes.
go every day for a week when it comes back.
Oh
Just
yeah,
go.
I'm not being at the Georgia
Yes,
Theater.
dude.
when it's
Everybody, dude.
nighttime.
Tickets are gonna be tough there for a minute. You know
I
what I
know,
mean?
I
It's gonna
know.
be packed. We were just walking around downtown last night. I was like, dude, what do I do to just swing in a bar right now and see a band?
I know.
It feels
or
like
even just go
Athens
up
is
to
halfway
rooftop
alive.
and just like see
Yes.
some act, or go to Nowhere Bar and
Yes, just
go
swing
to
through.
yeah. Just
Oh man, one day.
one day I'm gonna walk down the street and I'm gonna hear music and I'm gonna walk in and it's gonna be a band. I'm like, that's sick.
This is great. I love
Yeah.
it. All right, my friend. Thank you so much for coming out. I had an absolute blast
been
talking
an
to
honor,
you.
man.
You have a good time?
Yeah, I had a great
I'd
time.
love it for you to come back. I'm gonna try to get all your friends on. Speaking of which, Kelly and Forrest were shooting your. They were talking very highly of you last night.
Well, I love
said
those
they,
guys.
Said you were one of the best improvising pianists they'd ever played with. So
Well, that makes me feel good.
Yes, that
those
is
guys
nice.
are way too good to be playing with me, but I'm happy
They
I'm
are
happy
not.
they let me. So
I love it, man. Well, I'm glad you guys came on, or you came on, and I'm very excited to see what the band does. I'm sure you guys are gonna just take over the world, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you at the show on April 9th.
from the Earth Brewery, Roswell, Georgia.
Give 'em a little wave so we can make the thumbnail. Here we go, thumbnail. See you guys later. Thanks
That's
for
a
tuning in.
wrap.
Bye.
Let's have another